Good evening, good day, or good morning. You clicked on this video, so I know you ain't yawning. Pelicans Daily presented by Fan Arts. I'm your host, Dylan Bruton. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. You know the deal. This ain't no drill. Alright? Let's get right to it. So, the 2025 NBA draft is over. It's finito. Finished. We did it. We did it! You know, I feel good. How y'all feeling? I think we should all be feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna my favorite portion of these videos is the viewer comment interactions. But I'm gonna bring two up. Because they also got the most likes on it. So I just gotta give them a little shout out, a little extra. But there's others one I'm gonna bring up later on though. Later on. My guy Pelicans Nola 4367, always supporting. Salute to you. He said the Pelicans made two excellent draft picks. Let's go Pelicans. Yes, that's exactly the mindset that we gotta have. We did make great draft picks. They fit what we need, and they're going to add value to what type of team we're trying to build. So yes, Pelicans, hey, we in agreement. We in agreement. And then my guy, all-time great. It's been a while since I've seen you comment, but appreciate you. I mean, not a while, but even still, it's just good to see you comment. I'm in full agreement with you. I like both picks. Get with it or get lost. Damn right. That's the mindset. That's the attitude. Because here's the thing. I understand, right? Losing sucks. Losing is trash. No one likes it. No one wants to be a part of it. But you know what also sucks? Staying in that type of mindset. Because you know what that is? That's a loser mindset. If you're constantly, we suck. We're not going to be good. We don't have a chance. How do you, I caught myself. How do you ever expect to be good? How do you ever expect to get better? You're constantly inundating your mind with negativity and you're wondering why things ain't changed. You're wondering why you're stuck. I'm over here talking to y'all like dude who used to be like, you're sitting there watching watching life go by. The dude used to come on in the middle of the during the Maury commercial breaks. All right, yo, my bad. But still, right? You want to know the difference about the most winningest franchises, right? When you look at the teams in the NBA currently or historically, what do they have? A strong mindset, a strong will to win, an unshakable belief in themselves. These things all go back to the mental. That's why they say basketball is so much about the mental. It's arguably the most important part. Yes, the physical is, you gotta be physically talented. You gotta be skilled. You have to be fundamentally sound. Yes. But it's like what Jadakiss said. Why is a brother up north better than Jordan? They didn't get that break. You wanna know why? Because it comes down to the mental. Many try and many fail. To reach to those levels, to reach to those echelons, you have to be locked in. You have to know, believe, and truly desire. So all this sad pity talk and all this whining, that's not thorough. That's not thorough one bit. I don't know how y'all came up and were raised, but men don't do that. We don't. We go out and make things happen. We're the solutions. We're the problem solvers. That's what this basketball team, that's what basketball is about, man. You got to go out there, all that, we only won 21 games, man. Bump that. We're in the division with OKC and they just won a title. The Rockets just got KD. Oh, the Mavs got Cooper. Blah, 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 blah. Blah. Blah, 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 blah. Rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it. Again, like what all-time greats say, get with it or get lost. That loser attitude, it stinks. It infects the whole fan base. It's like a disease. So let me get off my soapbox. But I just had to say that because in the aftermath of this draft, I'm seeing way too much negativity. I'm seeing too much negativity from people who can't, for sure, can't go to a gym right now and make a left-handed layup. Okay? I'm seeing too much armchair athlete analysis. And I'm sitting in a chair right now giving my analysis. So I'm over here. Hey, these are shots at myself too. All right, well, anything that I could say to y'all, I could say to me. I'm self-aware, okay? But nah, man, I'm not with this whole negativity train. That's just all I want to say. But now, let's get right to it. Micah Peavy. I love this pick. Now, yes, 6'7" with a 6'7" wingspan is a little bit okay. That's like the biggest red flag. But man, 36-inch vert, average 17 a game, 6 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and mind you, led the nation in steals, 2.3. Yeah, led the nation. 48% from the field, 40% from 3. Free throws at 66. That's gotta work. That's gotta get better. I'm not. He's not a perfect prospect. No such thing though. No such thing. But I like this pick a lot. Now, my guy, Chris Lambert. Chris, we gotta get you right, Chris. This negativity, it's not doing you good. It doesn't look good on you, my guy. It just doesn't. Being a negative Nancy ain't it, my boy. It's not it. It's not gonna cut it. It's just not. How are we supposed to ever rise if you're looking for fault and flaw in everything? Sounded like, yo, babe, I got the earth and the stars. Why don't you get the moon? Why don't you get Jupiter? Why don't you get Mercury? Yo, dude, come on, bro. I'm just not with this negativity train that Chris is on. So I gotta call it out. If I didn't have love for you, I wouldn't call it out. But because I got love for you, I gotta call you out. That's just the type of upbringing I had. You know you loved in my family if you get called out. Let's just say it like that. So I'm bringing that same energy. But I really like this pick just because, look, there's still the sad possibility that we might lose Herb or Trey. I don't want that to happen, but in the event, you have to always be thinking about filling the void. You just do. And especially in this NBA now with the second apron, you're going to see a lot of teams that are going to be looking very different. It's already happening right now. I've never seen this many trades before in my life. In an NBA draft and before the finals was finished. I've never seen that in my life. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen that many. Like, yeah, you got the NBA trade deadline. But I ain't never seen that many trades happen before the NBA Finals even finished before. So we took a stab, we took a swing, and that's what separates okay, mediocre, just franchises from great franchises, right? You know what I'm saying? It's all about chutzpah. It's all about, a man has his word and if you know the rest. And we don't bust him for nobody, all right? So we took a stab, we took a swing. And we got a second round pick. And we got a guy who addresses a need. We got a guy who adds value to the type of culture that we're trying to build. If you go on Micah Peavy's scouting reports online, in some form or another, they're all saying he's a dog. He got that dog in him. I don't know what, like, I love players like those, okay? Me, I want players like those. Why? Because those are the type of players that will do anything possible. This young man played at Texas Tech and TCU. He could have jumped to the league after he was at TCU. He put up decent enough numbers where he might have gotten looked at. But you know what? He said, hey, I'm going to bet on myself. And leveled his game up. Went to Georgetown. Showed improved. Balled out. He's a coach's kid. His pops is over there building a program over there in Duncanville. I don't know how many of y'all know about Texas, but they hoop out in Texas. They be hooping. It's not just football and the Bible and the belt. They be hooping too. And his mom played ball too. He got that love in basketball upbringing. He got two parents that was in his ear about ball. That you don't come across that often. But those type of players are wired differently because they got pops in their ear and they got moms. They got the best of both worlds. And I think with a player like Micah Peavy, I think he's very versatile, right? He's an unselfish guy, but he can go get a shot if need be. And he plays bully ball. We need that. Need that on this team. Oh my gosh, I'm sick and tired of seeing us kind of get punked out there. I just, damn, it's like you watching your little brother keep getting beat up. You're like, damn, like, put your hands up. You know? Throw a combo. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, do something. Do something different. I'll trip him. Like something. So I'm really for this culture shift. And it's, look, change is not always gonna be change can be painful. Change is not always gonna feel, it's not always gonna feel natural. But guess what? When it happens, hey, and it works, hey, winning is the greatest cure of all things. So I believe in this pick. He's been compared to Justin Jackson, Jaden McDaniels, which I think if he can reach to a Jaden McDaniels level, that is a pick well spent. Christian Braun and Shane Battier. And as a Duke fan, you know, I love the Shane Battier comparison. So, you know, all those guys are very hard-nosed. Really the only one who's like an offensive scorer like that is Christian Braun. But if he can reach Jaden McDaniels as a defender with Christian Braun's offensive game, that's a steal. That's a guy who's going to be all rookie second team at worst. At worst. I like this pick a lot. If he can have a James Posey type of impact for us, that is a great pick. I'm trying to understand, right, this idea, because you know, sorry Chris, but I'm gonna pick on you, saying that this pick was an overcompensation for the first round pick stuff and reach. Chris, nah, I'm not jacking. I'm not co-signing that one. I'm just not. You know, with all love and respect to you, Chris, you be doing the damn thing. You be killing it. But I can't get with this. I can't get jiggy with this. No. Not with it. I love analysis. I love dialogue that's open-ended. But just straight up being like, boo, no. It does not accomplish nothing. Think about the type of impact that he can have. We're a team that needs more defenders. We're a team that needs more shooting. We're a team that needs guys that are happy to do whatever it takes to win. Why wouldn't you want a young man who persevered to get to this point? Why wouldn't you? Why? You know? So, hey, I like the pick. I was a little bit surprised. Yes, I was surprised. But I like the pick. Him and Thomas Sorber were defensive dogs at Georgetown this past year. So I think that this pick is going to pay great dividends for us. Great dividends. Great dividends. So, all right. Now, Hunter Dickinson, I like as a player. Does he address our need for a 7-footer? That will remain to be seen. So we signed Hunter Dickinson to a 2-way contract, and I'm very intrigued to see how Hunter Dickinson does in the summer league. I'm very intrigued to see how Micah does. I think that Jeremiah Fears is going to be, putting on a show as well as Derek Queen. But I'm very intrigued to see how obviously Micah does, but definitely Hunter Dickinson because Hunter Dickinson was a player that had some hype going for him, and then it kind of dissipated a little bit. But this past year, balled out crazy. You know what I'm saying? Average 17, 10 block a game. Uh, improved his range, improved as a defender because kind of like the biggest knock on his game is he's not a stud athlete, and he's almost 25. So there's some bit of look, that ageism is real when you're a guy that when you're in a league like the NBA where youth is valued at such a premium. I mean, granted, all sports, but it's different in basketball because of how much one and done took over the sport. I remember actively watching it. I remember actively seeing like if you were a multi-year college player, they looking at you like, oh, that's nice. But yo, the amount of one and done busts there been. I mean, I prefer a player who is ready for the rigors, who is adept to handle controversy, adversity, has some maturity to him. So with Hunter Dickinson, I feel like he actually could do well, right? There's not going to be a lot of pressure on him. There's not going to be a lot of expectation, but you put him on a team where there's going to be guys that can help him on the defensive end as far as like, covering up his deficiencies, or more so just his slowness, because that's really it. He's a little slow footed. He's a little slow footed. He's got a great low post game. He's physical, and he's a winner. These are all things that you want in a player. But there is obviously there's some concerns about his defensive ability enough that he went undrafted. Obviously, there's probably other things. I heard there's some issues locker room wise, which I'm gonna be peeping eyes for. If Hunter Dickinson is out here wilding, he's gonna be called out. It just is what it is. It comes with the territory. But any guy who's gonna be compared to guys like Zach Edey, Trace Jackson Davis, Luke Cornett, Frank Kaminsky, Luke Garza, Gorgie Chang, and as an ultimate ceiling, Domantas Sabonis. Overall, that's an intriguing player. There's a lot of different attributes and aspects there. Domantas is not a superstar, but he's definitely a star. I'm not sitting here saying Hunter is going to be a star, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows what he's capable of? I know a lot of Jayhawk fans. They think he's like a lefty Jokic, but I mean I feel like everyone now is gonna be unfortunately beset with a Jokic comparison. So I'm not gonna go that far. But Hunter Dickinson though, I think he's got a lot of talent, and I'm interested to see how he does in the summer league. I think that's just the thing when you're an undrafted guy. The summer league is where you really got to ball out, and if not, preseason. Training camp, preseason. But I think Hunter has a good chance of making this roster. We don't have a 7-footer, and it doesn't hurt to have a 7-footer that has an advanced low post game. With all love to Eve, and all love to Derek Queen. Like with all love to Eve, he's more of a rim runner, defensive guy. With Derek Queen, he's got the low post game, but he's not as big and tall as Hunter Dickinson. So I think Hunter Dickinson fits into what we're trying to build. I do. So we'll see. We'll see. I think he can do really well. Now, Coach James Borrego. Now, rumor, or not rumor, but there's been a lot of talk about, the Knicks opening up their coaching search, and they're looking right now in none other than Coach James Borrego, who is our assistant right now. Andy Quake reported on this. Coach Borrego was was very briefly the Magic coach, but was most known for being coach of the Hornets. During his time with the Hornets, he had a 138 to 163 record, which is not great, but it's not terrible. And given what he had to work with, given what was presented to him, and the fact that they made 2 play-ins, the Hornets just had the 4th pick and just won 19 games. So there's signs of a team that's got some problems, that's got some issues, and it's kind of ironic, right? We used to be the Hornets, so it's not. I don't want to say that hey, look, the grass ain't greener on the other side. I'm not shooting darts, but it is quite the ironic situation. Now it's funny, like very briefly, I did live in Charlotte after I graduated college back in 2022. The only thing, I wasn't there. By that point, he had gotten fired. But Coach Borrego was part of the last Hornets teams that were competitive. The last Hornets teams that were, frankly, worth a damn. And I get it. I get why teams are looking at him. They had the 12th best offense in 2018, 2019, and the 9th best and most efficient the year I graduated, 21, 22, that season. And with us, we went from 21st to 11th with him on our sideline. Now, was it solely on him? No. But he's a coach that really stresses ball movement. He's a coach that really stresses, heavy pace. And these are all things that, yes, we absolutely value. We absolutely need to be encouraging more of. So I don't want us to lose Coach Borrego because it's hard to replace good assistants. Good assistants are not easy to come by, but I'm also, I ain't gonna stop another man from getting the bag and taking care of his family. If he can go get the Knicks job, I think he's gonna do a really good job. The Knicks have a good foundation, and they're like knocking on the door. They're knocking on the door again of being a blue blood franchise and winning their first championship since '72, which, hey man, some of y'all watching might remember. I unfortunately do not, but I did watch as part of like my NBA upbringing of having to learn history and having to be, influenced and cultivated. But I think, losing an assistant like that, it hurts, but I understand it. But hopefully we're able to keep him. I hope we can, because I think that this roster personnel that we have now, I think is going to be able to do a lot of stuff. So I'm excited to see, when you combine the various coaching styles, the players that we have, and just the different attitude. There's been an attitude shift. There's been a mindset shift. There's been a whole scale culture shift. I'm very intrigued to see what that all equals and turns into. Just a little food for thought. It's been a while since you heard me say that. But anyway, to my favorite part. I'm only going to do 2 comments because this video is getting a little long, but responding to y'all. So first, Lance Stevens, 1651. Personally, I want to see what a lineup of Fears, Hawkins, which, hey, my ears perked up because I'm like, ain't nobody be pumping up Jordan but me. Ain't nobody. So, okay, you got my attention. Herb, Trey, and Queen looks like. I know it's a super young lineup, but I like the idea of the potential, the spacing, and cutting that would come from this team. Now, that team is not going to be the starting lineup. But I like that team as a bench lineup. I do. Lance, you might be onto something. I think that's a really good bench lineup. Now, obviously, Herb and Trey are starters. You know, and you know, Jeremiah Fears is gonna. I think it's gonna come down to, you know, who is either gonna get that point guard job or who's gonna become a two when it comes to him and Jordan Poole. But he's definitely gonna compete for that job. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. Nothing is handed. Nothing is given. You got to go and earn it. Just the way of life. But I like that lineup coming off the bench. Again, like you said, the spacing and cutting, there's a lot of that. And you know, you have versatility with all those different players. Sans Jordan Hawkins, which I know I hate to diss my dog. I got none but love for Jayhawk. But in terms of just, yeah, the versatility, the floor spacing, I think that is a talented lineup to have off the bench. If that's your five that comes off the bench, or that's your if that's your five you put together to come off the bench, then I think you're in good standing. I do. I really do think you're in good standing. So I'm happy. Y'all should be too. And then the last comment I'm a respond to or bring up. My guy, you know, consistent as always. Mark Semino 4127 said, "We are putting together a good starting lineup and a great bench, 10 deep." Again, yes, Mark, you hit the nail on the head. You're on the money, my friend. Absolutely, absolutely. We are trying to build a complete roster. Look at what OKC and Indy just did. Look at those teams. What are they? Complete. They have players that are versatile and able to do a variety of things and perform at a high level. That's the standard. Seriously, that's the standard. And if we're able to manage our bench rotations well, hey, I think it's not too crazy, especially with how wide open the NBA is. It's not too crazy to think that we could push for a seventh or eighth seed. It's just not, you know. But beyond just being in the play-in, I don't want to just be in the play-in and get bounced out. No, I want us to, at the very least. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm shooting for the moon, because if you miss, you're still amongst those stars. Shout out to Beanie Siegel. But I think 7-8 is pretty reasonable if all things, keyword, all things come together, all cylinders click. That's all it takes. All it takes is, some could say, the luck of the draw. But I really just think it comes down to execution. We live in a result-driven world, and make no mistake, the NBA is a result-driven league. So I think that if everybody does what they're supposed to do, everybody plays their part, everybody is balling, we got a dangerous roster, top to bottom. I've been saying that for years, like 3, pushing 4 years now. But I really believe you just got it too. But I'm not going to yap and get on my soapbox and preach and all that, you know, unless you want to throw money to the collection plate. Hey, I ain't going to say no to that. But I'm just kidding. I'm playing, y'all. Appreciate y'all for the continuous love and support. I really was rocking with how many people, you know, liked, shared, and subscribed. Y'all doing it. I'm telling you, repetition is everything. Practice what you preach. So I really appreciate y'all for all the support. That's the only way that we go. That's the only way that we grow. That's the only way that this goes further. And same with this team. The only way that we grow is if we support one another, we believe, we hold each other accountable, and we have hope and faith. I mean, man, geez, some of y'all sound miserable. Some of y'all don't ever want to meet and be around. I don't get that off. Get that away from me. Get that off me. Seriously, like my guy All Time Great said, get with it or get lost. That's the only attitude that we're gonna have. There's got to be an attitude adjustment, because we bringing in a whole new attitude era. Yeah, it's time for us to make our name and presence known. Simple and plain. So I'm very excited to see what we do this upcoming rest of all season and this NBA season and this, more recent, this summer league. It's going to be a great exhibition to show the young talent that we have and possess. And there's definitely going to be guys that pop up on this summer league roster that are going to show improvement. Make no mistake. So, I mean, the future is bright. Smile. Hear the birds. Smell the roses. All that misery and crying, I promise you, it's not going to get you that success. It's just not. It's not. When have you ever seen somebody miserably complain their way into success? It doesn't exist. It doesn't. It's not. Anyway, y'all have heard me talk plenty and enough, but continue to support, continue to show love, and continue to stay tuned in because there's going to be a lot more things to break down. There's going to be a lot more coverage. So just keep the ball rolling. Much love, y'all. Make sure, again, like, share, subscribe. Shout out to Fan Arch, killing the game right now, doing so many amazing, great things. You're not going to want to miss it. So stay tapped in, stay tuned in. But in the meantime, ciao.